Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I would like to welcome you to, well, my GTR room. So, I'm sure you guys can probably tell by now, but we are not in the shop. We're changing gears a little bit today for this video, and we're going to be going over the RB26 and what I have planned for it, the condition it was when I bought it for those that don't know, the current state, and like I just mentioned, all the stuff that's to come. So, I am now currently at home in our spare guest room, which has turned into a part storage slash office. I figured we just kind of show what I have here accumulated, because I don't think I've actually talked or even shown anything about the RB since I pulled it a couple years ago when we first started with the build. That was the first thing that I did. Took it for its first drive. If you guys missed that video, it's pretty hilarious. Came back, found out we had some issues, so we pulled it. That's where it all started. We had a pretty rocky first drive. It definitely did not go as planned. When I was sold the car, I asked the questions, the simple, the basic stuff. How does it run? Does it run well? Does it smoke? Does it boost well? All the simple, standard things you would ask. And of course, I got the answer, yes, runs great, boosts well, no issues, no smoke. So I actually experienced all of those problems. First of all, it didn't drive good, smoked fully. Out the rear, and it made no boost. So we had a bit of an issue right off the bat. After that, we pulled it back into the house. It wasn't feeling good, as you guys can probably imagine. At that point, I did a compression test. We just checked the overall health of the engine. Actually turned out to be pretty poor. Wasn't great, very inconsistent all through all six. And then I just proceeded to kind of check into what was the whole no boost issue. So that actually turned out to be a completely destroyed rear turbine wheel on my back turbo. I think it was on the rear turbo. So yeah, the turbine wheel completely blown off, which is pretty common on those stock turbos. If you decide to bump boost up past about 14 PSI 1 bar, gets a little bit risky. So yeah, that was our issue as far as no boost. Which then leads me to believe that the guy who I bought it from, which if you guys have not yet seen the video exposing the whole seller and the situation, how much I paid, go check that video out. It just goes to show that he did not even test drive it. So that was unfortunate. So at this point, turbos are off. With those compression test numbers, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna at least get the head re-skimmed, get a new head gasket, we'll put new turbos on, and we'll be back to the races. We'll be able to enjoy the car for a little bit while I'm just building up time and money to be able to put the work in that this car actually needs to get to a point where I'm happy with it. But at least for now, I'll be able to drive it, enjoy it, use it as a daily, and just cruise around. But things aren't always that easy. So unfortunately, once I pulled the head off, I found major detonation marks on the bottom of the head, as well as the top of the pistons on, I believe, cylinders 4 through 6, so the back 3. It was just one thing after another. So then that kind of brings us to, I guess, somewhat to this point. Now, this was many years ago, a couple years ago, where we had this issue and we pulled the motor. I pretty much, at that point, I took the head, fully disassembled it, sent it to a local machine shop here in town, and they actually went ahead and repaired the head. So that worked out really well. It looks brand new now. I'll show you guys some pictures. For those that do remember, this thing was in pretty bad shape with all those little pitting marks. It almost had the appearance of like a ball bearing that was kind of bouncing around in the combustion chamber. But after sending pictures of the bearings, the rod bearings, to one of my really good friends, a very knowledgeable guy, he actually told me that there's actually signs of detonation on the bearings, which is, I mean, that's just cool that he can see that. So apart from the damage on the head, that's pretty much all there was to it. Really nothing left that I needed to do. However, while I was at the machine shop, they were looking at the valve seats and everything there, and there was damage as well. So that's going to lead me up to our upgrade parts that are going to be showing up for this thing, which I actually already have. So we'll get to that in a second, but that just kind of covers the head. The head does still need some machine work, which I do have to get sent out. That's currently the major bit of machine work that's left to get done, is to send this out. Again, it's already been done, but the machine shop I had it here in town, they were not too comfortable about doing the valve job. So I'm happy that they were, they told me that, because they did a great job with the head. I mean, just repaired it, welded it all back up, got it decked, cleaned it up, and it's looking good. So now I'm gonna set it to I guess more so an RB specialist, someone who really knows and has dealt with these things quite a lot. If you guys are machinists and would like to help me out with this work, please get in touch with me. I have no problem sending this thing out. But yeah, at the moment it needs a valve job. So we'll get to the parts and what's going in to replace the stock valves in a moment, but let's move on to the block. Really fast before we move on, what color would you guys recommend that I paint these valve covers? Obviously, in very much need of a repaint, but I have a couple ideas in mind. I'm kind of thinking just like that typical traditional just dark red. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. I actually did one on a GTR here locally in town, did his covers. Beautiful color. So let me know if you guys agree with me. Apart from that, what else? Drop it down below. I'd love to kind of hear what you guys have in mind. And we'll get to all these fun little trinkets because there's a lot of fun lot of fun stuff in this room, even though it may not look like it. There's a lot of cool stuff laying around. So the block has not moved. God, it's been in this position for a couple years now. Like I said, I haven't done anything. Obviously, the chassis has been quite the time consumer. So yeah, I actually have not personally even unwrapped this out of the bag myself. So the girdle is actually down there. So this block was sent to the machine shop. The block itself is done. So when I tore this thing apart, we did find some scoring along the cylinder walls. We actually had to bore out the cylinder wall to 87 and 86 and a half. So 0.5 over. And that was able to clean up everything in all the bores, which is awesome. So that looks really good. You really don't really want to go too much over, half a mil over. If you guys are trying to push the power, it's just my recommendation. Obviously, you want to remove as little material as possible to keep the strength there. But yeah, clearly it's in need of some love as far as some paint on the block. But yeah, like I said, I have not touched this thing. Obviously, it was fully cleaned, hot tank, dipped, good to go. So as far as the machine work, I'll give you guys a quick rundown as to what I had done. Anytime you guys are building an RB, especially if you're trying to push the limits of the power, definitely recommend you guys go ahead and find yourself a torque plate to go ahead and source and bolt onto your block before any sort of machine work is done. For those of you that do not know, a torque plate is basically a simulation head that would bolt to the motor just as the head would, and it fastens and clamps everything down as it would be if it was all together. So basically what that means is everything is tensioned up and tight, and things do move around very, very minute amounts, but they do move around when you start to pull and tension things. So the fact that you have the torque plate simulates the head being together. That way, when everything's running together, operational, everything is absolutely perfect, and there's no changes to the bore diameter, anything. So it's really cool. Definitely recommend it. I do not personally own one. I actually rented one from a friend. It was quite expensive. It probably would have made more sense for me to just buy one and rent it out to a couple friends, and I probably could have got my money back. But eventually I'll go ahead and get my own. But yeah, this thing is looking really good. I'm just looking now. What is this? What is this? I guess it's just on the water jacket, but well, I don't know. Is that always there? I'll probably go ahead and hit this thing with some WD-40 one more time. I already did, but I don't know why it's starting to rust a little bit here. I mean, very minute. Maybe I forgot to put some here. Dang it. Let me know if this might be an issue. I don't think that would be, especially since it's on a cooling port. Let me know. I didn't notice that before. So yeah, that's the block. Half mil over, ready to rock. The girdle also is down there. That also was bolted up to the engine while all the machine work. It got a tunnel. I think it's a tunnel hone. You know, that's all good. Everything's solid because I am actually running upgraded fasteners. So if you guys are running upgraded main studs, especially, you want to put the main studs in, get the girdle in, bolt everything together, as well as the head studs. I'm running our ARP 625s. So those are the top of the line, absolute best of the best head stud. Very expensive, like $1,000 for those head studs. And I just want to say, I did not buy those. Huge shout out to ARP for supporting this build. They supplied all the fasteners, so I'm really grateful for them that they hopped on board and helped me out as far as that goes, because this thing with those head studs, man, it's gonna be able to handle all the boost, which is gonna be pretty cool. It's not like we're chasing massive numbers here, but it's gonna be nice to have those in there. Like I said, girdle down there, nothing too fancy. You guys know about a girdle. That's the head and block. There's that. At the current state, that's where we're at. Sun went away and get this light on. Now I figured we go ahead and just kind of talk about what the plans are for the engine. Here's our kind of wall of parts. So I guess we can start at the top, work our way down. This is all standard stuff. OEM, nothing really specific or fancy here. Won't be probably using the OEM intercooler just because we will be upgrading to that. Stock coil packs will not be getting used. The cam angle sensor will not be getting used. And what else? This, obviously we have the runners of the intake manifold, the plenum itself, as well as just some factory OEM parts back here. So now we just have an oil pump, which is going to be, I believe, the N1 pump, and we're going to be doing a billet upgraded gear. Oh, I still have to show you guys the crank. We'll get to that in a second. The crank is beautiful, absolutely insane. So yeah, as far as that, so I'm not going spline drive. I know a lot of you guys are going to be saying, you should have gone spline drive, and trust me, this is not going to be like a race car or anything like that. It's just going to be a fun street car, and I'll be the first to say, if I end up breaking my oil pump, you guys can then come at me and say, I told you so. But at the moment, I have no issues. I'm not worried about it. Just an N1 pump with billet gears, and you guys will see upgraded crank. We're good to go. I have no worries. So obviously, if money wasn't an issue, we would just go ahead and get the spline drive, but it's much more expensive. But again, I kind of get the whole concept, buy once, cry once, but like I said, this should be just fine. So, man, honestly, let's just kind of look at this because I personally have forgot what I've even got here myself. So, let's just kind of take a peek. I have not opened or looked into these boxes in many months, a couple years probably. So here we just have some ARP stuff. Oh, and we have R35 coil packs. So we're going the R35 coil conversion. Here we've got a PRP oil and water head drain kit, the dual kit, which is pretty cool. And I'll let you guys know who has helped with sponsors and stuff like that. Here we have some SuperTech valve guides. SuperTech was quite generous in getting a little discount on all their products here. So I've got valve guides, and then since we're on the whole valve train topic at the moment. So right here I've got both intake and exhaust upgraded valves for the RB. They're 1mm oversized. So because of the damage on the head, I'm not able to run stock size valves anymore. So I'm forced to upgrade, which, hey, I'm not opposed to that. So plus 1mm there on the valves, both intake and exhaust. Here we just have some Eagle rods, pretty basic. Don't know how to open them. Here we go. Check these out. So good old nice forged rods, which will be going in the car, obviously. And since we're on the topic of rods, check out these beauties. Ooh, these are gorgeous. I have to show you guys a little bit more of these because they are works of art. Obviously, you guys are all familiar with CP, and I didn't get any fancy, expensive piston or anything like that. These are just kind of like the ones off the shelf. But look at these boys. Damn. Woo! Dude, check those out. That's beautiful. So, man, I'm really looking forward to the time where it comes to being able to put this engine together. I could technically start putting the block together. However, I am still missing some parts. I still need my bearings. I think actually bearings might be the only thing I need left to buy. So, hey, if you guys want to buy some merch, I really would appreciate that. Link below for us to a minimal merch. But yeah, those are the pistons, which are awesome. So as far as like the rotating assembly, I should be built and safe to about 750 wheel. And as far as the compression ratio, I cannot remember. I think I got 9:1. And I believe the stock compression on the RB is 8.5:1. So this should be good. It probably will run mostly on E85 anyway, but it will be on flex fuel, so that's why we didn't go too crazy on the compression. Really quick, as far as the whole intake manifold plenum, obviously you guys know the whole remade in USA. I believe now it's Ian's changed his channel name, but Ian is incredibly talented at restoring these intake manifolds. So I will hopefully see if I can have him do mine. If not, I'll probably have to just figure out and do it myself, rebuild it, cleaning it all up, vapor honing it, all new components, and doing that myself. So we'll kind of see how that goes. But moving on, you guys can see we have a few Tomei boxes here. Oh, actually right here is actually our PRP R35 coil pack bracket. Wish I could say it was sponsored, but it's not. Obviously, you got to find the Easter egg on every single one of them. But yep, that's the coil pack bracket. And here we have some Tomei boxes. I believe these are just my cam gears. I have some Tomei adjustable cam gears for the intake and exhaust. They're pretty nice units. Although now that I've seen PRP come out with theirs, with their really cool locking system that they have, I don't know. I have them, so I don't think I'm gonna buy another set. But yeah, it was cool to see how PRP incorporated like a lock onto their adjustable cam gears. So that's sweet. I obviously have both intake and exhaust for that. And then moving along, we have a Tomy oil pan baffle. I'm not going to dig that out. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's not that interesting. We are also going to be running a LS1 alternator kit. Oh, look at my battery tray, which I don't really know why I bought. Random OEM parts. This is probably a crank gear. OEM alternators like an idler. We got water pump bolts, which I probably won't be using. Just use the OEM stuff. Here we have just some spare gaskets I had laying around. What's this? What is this? What is this? I don't know. So this is the thing. I feel like you and me are both now kind of figuring things out as we go. Fuel injection service. Oh, okay. This is a high octane crank trigger kit. So it should have the Hall sensor here. Cherry Hall. Yep. So that's that. I still do have to order a cam trigger kit, but obviously I don't have that at the moment. So here, what do we have here? Here we have, I think, the mines, or the, are they mines? No, what are they? Hypertune? I can't remember what company these are, but these are, I got some oil valve cover baffles, which are in here. No need to pull those out. They're not that interesting. What's this? I don't know what this is. What is this? What is this? V-band? V-band for a turbo, I guess? Oh, we gotta look at the turbo too. Oh, oil squirters, that's important. What is this? Water pump? Water pump. So here are the, like I said, these are like $1,000. The 625s ARP head studs. Now these are the stock size, are not upgraded as far as the diameter, but the material is incredibly strong. So if you guys want the best of the best, definitely check out the 625 pluses as far as from ARP. I do have a radium fuel rail here, brand new for RB26 if anyone wants it. It's for sale. I'm just not going to run this fuel rail. Nothing wrong with it. It's just I don't want to run that one. Here we went on that alternator, LS1 alternator. We have some, I need these. Here we have the ARP mains. Nothing too exciting there, just for the main studs. Here we have the little foam pieces that go inside of the baffles themselves. We have some Nismo lug nuts. We've got an ARP crank bolt right there. Lubricant. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and then we have a massive box here of Cometic Street Pro gasket. So huge shout out to Cometic for supplying me with the gasket kit. And then this box down here is just like OEM stuff. I have my throttle bodies back there, as you guys can see. I have some Boom X horns right here that came off the car. And stock cams. I do not have cams, so I still need to buy cams. I need to buy valve springs, bearings for the engine. A couple other things I'm sure I'm missing. My dash is back there. We do have a fluid damper. However, I will be selling this one. If anyone wants a Horschel Motorsports fluid damper, it's made in the USA, high quality product, brand new, never been fitted. It is for sale. I'm just going to go ahead and get an AIT one because the kits that I'm going to be running require the AIT damper. So that's the only reason. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Here is the crank. Check this out. This thing is beautiful. Now, it does look a little bit gross, but I can assure you it's not. Everything was cleaned up, beautifully done on this thing, polished. Let me actually get you a list of all that was done so I can be a little more informative. All right, I'll put the invoice on the screen so you guys can see exactly what I have here and how much it was. So we have RB26 crank collar install. We have a micro polish of the crankshaft. They machined the oil galley plug. They finally cleaned and washed the parts. Balance of the clutch and flywheel. So all that totaled me out to just under $1,000. So that just goes to show you how expensive and how quickly this all adds up. Obviously, the install of the crank collar was the majority of it, and balancing of the clutch and flywheel was $250. So get this thing out so you guys can take a better look at it. Check that out. Look at that beauty. So I got the new extended Nitto oil collar on there. It's looking sweet, so that should drive the oil pump without any issues. At least that's the plan in theory. We always hope that works, right? But yeah, that's it. So some more parts. I actually have a turbo in here somewhere. Right here is shout out to Pulsar. Not gonna get it out right now, but they actually hooked it up big time. So we actually have a G35 1050 from Pulsar. This is actually gonna be, I believe, with their 1.06 or 1.1 rear housing. Should be pretty sweet on the GTR. Should be nice and responsive, but also allow me to make some decent power and hopefully meet my power goals. Now this turbo up here is actually irrelevant to the GTR. This is actually what's supposed to be for the Z, which also actually recently I put onto a Pulsar turbo. That one I did a GTX 3584 RS. That's what's on it now. It used to have a twisted motion turbo on it. The turbo on it now is making much more power. It's pretty sweet. We'll have to go for a ride in the car. The car does need a battery. That's currently why it's not on the road. And it's not insured or registered or anything like that. So, but this is here if I ever want to bump up and make another extra 100 horsepower. This is a Borg Warner SXE. Oh God, 364.5. It's a 64.5 inducer wheel, and I believe a 68 mil exducer. Don't quote me. Just got some cool stuff. Hot Wheels everywhere. You guys know the deal. These things are super cool. Really high detail on these. Really pumped. That was actually a gift. Let me show you the box that it came in. Really cool. So yeah, just some cool stuff, man. Got this beautiful Nismo cluster. Thing's probably worth more than the GTR at this point. But yeah, and then just like, I mean, Hot Wheels everywhere. You guys can see we got another cam cover, coil pack cover, more Hot Wheels, GTR stuff, more Nismo lug nuts. We've got the rear diff right here. We've got some Nismo crates here carrying our wiring harnesses. Over here, just a lot of Nismo stuff. Just, you know, feel free to take a peek and see if there's anything you guys like in here. A lot of fun stuff. Look, this is like a piece of gold. It's like a $500 GTR badge, an R32 326 emblem, rear trunk emblem. Very expensive, very hard to find. Obviously got the beautiful GTR key. My VIN tag, which has seen much better days. Got these cool little Nismo silicone things. This is an OEM Nismo shift knob, and then this one was actually made by a subscriber and sent over. That's pretty cool. But yeah, just a lot of fun stuff, man. A lot of fun, cool stuff here. A lot of Hot Wheels. You guys can see all these GTR. I don't know if you know how much, I don't know if you guys realize how much trouble I went through to find these GTR packs. And I actually have a few. There's 4 there, 1 there, 1 there. Yeah, and there's, you know, FD, RX-7 stuff. We got a RX-3. Just a lot of fun stuff, man. A lot of cool fun stuff. That's pretty sweet. Love that. But yeah, I mean, shoot, man, like I said, I don't really want to make this too long and too boring, but I just wanted to show you guys what's up with the RB, what the plans are, what you guys can expect moving forward. As far as what I need to do now to get moving is just to send the head off to get the machine work done, which is going to be very expensive, the valve job. And part of me is like, well, maybe I should go ahead and try and get it ported a little bit, a little minor port job. Man, I feel like it never ends. But yes, we'll see how that goes. And as far as the block is good, just need to buy the bearings. And at that point, I should be able to start being able to start putting it together. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty exciting. I will be doing all the work myself, which is, I mean, you guys could probably expect that, but that's about it, man. That's about it. My little GTR room, my little office space. So, you know, it's pretty cool. You know, it's not much, but it's honest work. All right, that's it. Appreciate you guys for tuning in on this one. Just kind of a midweek upload. I obviously expect the standard Sunday upload on the GTR restoration progress. But yeah, as far as the RB goes, that's kind of it. I'm sure I missed some stuff. Probably did. Oh, the clutch. Oh, we got coilovers. There's Fortune Auto were very kind to send me their coilovers for the car. I've got an action clutch, twin disc action clutch and flywheel. A shout out to them. They sponsored that fully. I've got a wiring specialties harness somewhere in here that they sponsored fully. So shout out to all those people. But still quite a lot to go. But that's gonna be it for this one, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all this weekend. Buy some merch, Patreon down below. If you guys want to subscribe and support, really would appreciate that. And yeah, will help me get this content out to you guys, and more content, better content. You guys know the deal. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys later. Peace.